On a bright and cheerful Saturday morning, Grandma Edna woke up to the warm sun streaming through her kitchen window. She loved weekends, for they were a time to enjoy simple pleasures and take care of things around her cozy home. After savoring a cup of herbal tea, she glanced outside at her garden bursting with flowers. Yet, this lovely day sparked an idea in her heart. It was the perfect time to clean out the old cellar. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and subscribe for more, and tell me where you are watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. The cellar had been untouched for years, a place where forgotten treasures and dusty memories lay hidden under layers of cobwebs. Edna always found cleaning therapeutic, a way to clear not just the space, but also her mind. She believed that every item had a story waiting to be uncovered. With excitement bubbling inside her, she put on her favorite floppy hat, tied her apron tightly around her waist, and marched down the creaky wooden steps to begin her adventure. As she reached the cellar door, it groaned in protest like an old friend waking from a long slumber. Edna chuckled softly as she pushed it open. The air was cool and musty, wrapping around her like a thick blanket as she turned on the dim light bulb swinging from the ceiling. The dim glow revealed rows of forgotten boxes stacked high against the stone walls and shelves filled with jars of colorful preserves from summers long past. Undeterred by the dust swirling around her like tiny fairies, Grandma Edna picked up an old broom and began sweeping away years of neglect. With each sweep, memories filled her mind, like finding a long-lost treasure among familiar objects. She laughed as she discovered mismatched plates from family gatherings and toys that once delighted her children. As hours passed, Edna felt more connected to the past than ever before. Each item seemed to whisper stories of laughter and love that had woven their way through generations. Suddenly, a flash of color caught her eye from under an old blanket pushed to one side. Curious, she stepped closer and carefully pulled back the fabric, only to reveal an ornate chest covered in intricate designs. Her heart raced with curiosity as she knelt beside it. This chest was unlike anything she had seen before. Its surface glimmered faintly in the low light, while its rusty hinges looked like they hadn't budged in ages. Edna ran her fingers gently over its surface, feeling every groove and bump that told tales from times gone by. She wondered how it ended up here, all these years forgotten in the shadows. With determination sparkling in her eyes, Grandma Edna carefully examined the chest for a way to open it. The small lock looked stubborn, but not impossible to crack. A thrill coursed through her. It felt just like one of those mystery stories she loved reading, where hidden secrets lay waiting for someone brave enough to discover them. She retrieved an old keychain from nearby, a collection of keys left behind by her late husband, and started trying each key until one finally slid into place with an encouraging click. With bated breath and trembling hands, she lifted the heavy lid. Inside lay an unexpected bounty. Stacks of yellowed letters bound together with fragile string, tattered maps marking places long forgotten, and peculiar objects that sparkled faintly amidst layers of dust like stars in a night sky. Edna couldn't believe what she saw. This little chest held secrets that could change everything she thought about her family's history. As Grandma Edna gingerly took out each item, excitement grew within her heart. These weren't just dusty relics. They were pieces of a puzzle longing to be solved. The letters were neatly penned in elegant handwriting which felt intimate yet distant at the same time. A connection across time that stirred feelings deep inside. She spent hours sorting through the contents while letting memories wash over her. A reminder that history wasn't just about dates, but lived experiences captured in letters written by loving hands. The afternoon sun began setting outside as golden light filtered through cracked cellar windows and illuminated this newfound treasure trove. It was then that Grandma Edna realized this wasn't simply cleaning out a cellar anymore. It was embarking on an incredible journey into unexplored chapters of both family legacy and personal discovery. The routine chore had transformed into something magnificent. Eagerly wanting to share this find with others who might understand its importance, set off another wave of excitement within Grandmother's heart. With each item carefully placed beside her, Edna couldn't help but smile at how this beautiful autumn day had led not only to clearing dust, but also uncovering history that would soon connect herself, and perhaps many others, to moments lost among generations gone by. And so began Grandma Edna's quest. Not merely for spring cleaning, but rather discovering treasures awaiting exploration right beneath old cobwebs down below. As Grandma Edna continued her exploration of the cellar, she couldn't shake the feeling that something remarkable awaited her. This space was filled with echoes of the past. She pushed past stacks of dusty boxes and jars full of forgotten preserves, all while the comforting scent of old wood surrounded her. The dim light flickered like a heartbeat, guiding her through this maze of memories. After clearing away some cobwebs and shuffling around a few old toys, Edna's attention was drawn to a shadowy corner at the far end of the cellar. Curiosity sparkled in her eyes as she approached it, eager to unveil whatever secrets lay hidden there. As she brushed her hands across the rough stone wall to steady herself, she recognized how much history surrounded her in this very room. There, partially, obscured by a pile of discarded blankets and an old lamp that had long lost its shine, she noticed an unusual glimmer. Taking a careful step closer, Grandma Edna's breath caught in her throat. Buried behind the tattered fabric was an ornate chest that seemed to call out to her like a long-lost friend. Its dark wood surface was adorned with intricate carvings that formed patterns resembling swirling vines and blossoming flowers. A beautiful work of art, even in its neglected state. Feeling a rush of excitement, she knelt beside it, the rough floor cool beneath her knees. Dust danced in the air as she reached out, hesitating for just a moment before placing her hand on the chest's surface. The wood felt warm to the touch, despite its years spent shrouded in dust. She marveled at how something so magnificent could lie hidden away for so long. With all her cleaning tools momentarily forgotten, Edna began to examine every detail of the chest more closely. The hinges were rusty, but still appeared sturdy enough to hold whatever treasures it concealed inside. A delicate lock sat in place at the front. Its shiny brass finish stood out against the rich wood, a promise of mystery waiting to be unraveled. Grandma Edna knew that every family has a legacy, and perhaps this chest was part of hers, a treasure waiting for someone curious enough to seek it out. Her heart raced as she leaned closer. Thoughts raced through her mind like lively butterflies flitting about. What stories lay within? What did it mean? As if sensing Edna's eagerness, a slight draft stirred from somewhere nearby, causing an old rafter above to creak softly. It was almost as if the house itself encouraged her to uncover more about this chest and its contents. With renewed determination, Grandma Edna brushed away years of cobwebs from around it and surveyed how firmly it had settled into place over time. The path leading up to this remarkable find had been filled with laughter from family gatherings and warmth from holiday celebrations. All those moments had woven themselves into what stood before her now. After several breathless seconds filled with wonderment and anticipation, she tugged gently at the chest's edge, hoping it would come free without much effort. To her surprise, though not entirely unexpected, it remained steadfast where it had laid for so many years. It wasn't just any ordinary box. It was designed to keep secrets safe. Her imaginative mind swirled with possibilities. Perhaps letters from a beloved ancestor telling tales about their life, or maps indicating journeys taken during times long past. Each thought sparked wild excitement in Edna's heart. She could hardly contain herself, knowing she might need assistance to truly uncover what lay within this beautiful treasure box, this hidden piece of history. She looked around for anything that might help. Nearby lay those forgotten old keys belonging to her late husband. They formed an entire collection that had become dull over time, but still glimmered faintly under layers of dust. Selecting one particular key that appeared different from the others, a small, ornate piece covered with curves resembling ivy leaves, she felt drawn toward it, as though it understood her wish to unearth its mystery. Gently placing her fingers around the delicate lock again after retrieving the key felt like holding onto fate itself. With every twist and nudge against rusted metal came both thrill and reverence. The symbol of generations now tethered together stood ready to reveal their stories once more. Finally, overcoming uncertainty built up through years, watching over untouched relics felt empowering. The excitement coursing through every vein made Grandma Edna feel alive with purpose. Slowly lifting up on that reluctant lid would soon unlock connections between past and present. All starting right here among floors once obscured by shadows, where warmth lived only in memory. What awaited inside would be not just mere objects collected for safekeeping, but bonds woven tight across time, echoing hopes loved ones carried forward year after year. Would these discoveries write new chapters into family history itself? Only moments away from finally knowing brought delightful shivers chasing down Grandma Edna's spine. And so began this enchanting journey, where dusty corners revealed priceless memories smiling back at her. With a deep breath, Grandma Edna inserted the ornate key into the lock on the chest, feeling the weight of anticipation pressing down on her. As she turned the key, it clicked with a satisfying sound that seemed to echo in the quiet cellar. With trembling fingers, she lifted the heavy lid, revealing the treasures hidden within. Inside, layers of yellowed letters were neatly stacked atop one another, bound together with frayed twine. The paper was fragile, yet beautiful, with elegant script that hinted at stories from long ago. Edna gently unwrapped the first letter, her heart racing as she scanned the flowing cursive. It was a heartfelt message penned by her great-grandmother to her husband during a time of war, filled with love and longing that transcended generations. The words felt alive in her hands, connecting her to a woman she had never met, but whose spirit echoed through time. The next layer held even more surprises. Old maps lay folded carefully beside a collection of small objects. One map caught her eye, its edges frayed and markings faint. But it was clear that it illustrated not only local towns, but also faraway places that once sparked adventure and dreams. Grandma Edna's mind raced with possibilities. Had someone in her family traveled these routes? Were there untold stories hidden along these paths? She traced her fingers over the inked lines, as if trying to feel the journeys taken by those who came before her. Beneath the maps, Grandma Edna found curious artifacts, a small compass that still seemed to be functional, and a brass locket with intricate designs etched into its surface. The locket was surprisingly heavy for its size and shaped like a tiny book. With eagerness bubbling within her, she gently opened it to discover two tiny portraits nestled inside. One of a man dressed in old-fashioned military garb, and another of a woman wearing an elegant gown from days gone by. Who were they? What stories could they tell? As she continued sifting through the chest's contents, Edna unearthed a peculiar artifact wrapped in faded cloth. Carefully unrolling it revealed an unusual wooden carving shaped like an owl. Its deep-set eyes seemed to stare back at her as if guarding secrets yet untold. This piece stirred something within Grandma Edna, a sense that it had significance beyond mere decoration. Was it a family heirloom, or perhaps even an artifact of cultural importance? She knew this would require further exploration. Amongst these treasures lay several more letters dated from different years, some joyful and others sorrowful, each revealing snippets of history about her ancestors' lives. They spoke of harvests gathered after long winters, children's laughter filling homes with warmth during celebrations, and times of heartache when loved ones were lost too soon. Each letter felt like an intimate glimpse into their world, a world filled with both struggles and joys. A fading photograph slipped out from beneath one stack of papers. Edna picked it up with care. It portrayed a large family gathered outside what appeared to be their home, a quaint cottage surrounded by vibrant flowers in full bloom. Faces smiled back at her, each one holding their own stories and memories tangled together in this single moment captured in time. The more Edna uncovered, the stronger the connection she felt to those who came before her. A realization struck deep into her heart. These were not just remnants of history. They were pieces of herself, woven into a larger tapestry stretching across generations. As sunlight filtered through cracks in the cellar's walls, brightening shadows cast by forgotten corners, Grandma Edna felt grateful for this unexpected journey into her family's past. Each letter read aloud in the whispers felt like awakening spirits nestled within dusty confines of time, eager to share their tales once more. With newfound determination igniting every thought, Grandma Edna decided she wouldn't merely keep these discoveries locked away in silence. She would uncover more about them and share their stories. Her vision expanded beyond herself. This treasure wasn't just for personal reflection, but could connect others within their community, eager for history left behind. After spending hours immersed in these wonders and taking care not to misplace anything precious, Grandma Edna carefully repacked all items into the chest. The waiting vessel holding heartbeats from eras gone by now brought closer than ever before. Pausing for one last glance around the cellar, filled with forgotten memories made vivid once more, brought warmth flooding through every thread of her being. She wasn't merely cleaning anymore, but rekindling connections long lost while ensuring they would live on forever. With thoughts swirling around these discoveries, intertwining family history beneath layers of dust, waiting patiently to be told again, became much greater than expected. The journey ahead promised excitement beyond anything possible. This was just the beginning. What other treasures awaited discovery? What deeper meanings lay hidden beneath each carefully folded letter or carved relic? Grandma Edna's heart danced with possibility as she sealed away those precious findings, knowing full well this enchanting chapter had only just begun. As Grandma Edna carefully sifted through the contents of the ornate chest, she felt an overwhelming wave of emotion wash over her. Each item held a story, a thread that tied her directly to her family's past. The letters, with their beautiful cursive script, and the faded photographs were more than just pieces of paper. They were windows into lives once lived, emotions once felt, and dreams once cherished. One letter stood out among the rest, its paper slightly more worn and creased, as if it had been opened and read many times. Edna recognized her great-grandmother's handwriting immediately. She felt a thrill coursing through her veins as she began to read, absorbing every word. The letter described her great-grandmother's early life as a young bride in a new town. It detailed the challenges she faced, the joys of starting a family, and her longing for loved ones back home. Oh, how brave she must have been, Edna whispered to herself. imagining her great-grandmother navigating those early challenges with grace and resilience. This letter not only offered insight into a woman she never met, but painted a vivid portrait of her family history that struck a deep chord within Edna's heart. Underneath the letters lay several old maps that sparked even more curiosity. One particular map depicted a route leading from their small town to places far away. Names like New Haven and Plymouth jumped out at her. She wondered if someone in her family had traveled these roads or perhaps dreamed of adventures beyond their hometown. The thought ignited a spark in Edna's mind. Could there be stories behind these places? Who had walked these paths before her? As she examined the maps closely, she noticed handwritten notes scribbled along the edges, comments about friends made in distant towns or favorite sites to visit. These annotations revealed pieces of her ancestors' lives that intertwined with different parts of the world and brought them together through shared experiences and memories. Then there were the artifacts. Each one seemed to carry echoes of voices long gone. The brass locket with portraits inside caught her attention again. As she held it up to catch light, streaming through the cellar window, she could almost see reflections of generations past smiling back at her. Who were they? Had they faced struggles similar to hers? What dreams had they nurtured? The wooden owl carving was particularly fascinating. Its mysterious presence suggested it could symbolize wisdom or protection, perhaps an heirloom passed down through generations. What if it had belonged to someone who relied on its watchful gaze during tough times? This idea thrilled Edna. Each artifact transformed into a tangible link between herself and those who walked before her. With each discovery came an eagerness to learn more about their stories. Grandma Edna felt an insatiable thirst for knowledge growing within her. A desire not only to connect with those ancestors, but also to honor them by digging deeper into their lives. She imagined how wonderful it would be to gather family members together for storytelling sessions where they could share memories collected over time, bringing forth forgotten tales that might rekindle connections lost through years of silence. Perhaps they could even piece together their shared ancestry like an intricate puzzle. Driven by this newfound passion for exploration, Grandma Edna decided right then that she would start researching her family's history beyond what was contained within this chest. She envisioned visiting local libraries, where records might offer deeper insights, or even organizing visits with relatives who might hold memories and stories yet untold. By connecting these threads from the past with present-day relationships, Grandma Edna knew that she could weave together something beautiful. A tapestry rich in color depicting not just struggles faced, but triumphs celebrated throughout time. This chest had unlocked more than mere objects. It opened doors leading back to roots deeply planted in love and resilience. As sunlight continued filtering through dusty windows, illuminating each item within the chest, Grandma Edna took one last moment to reflect on what was before her. The weighty significance held by every letter read and every portrait gazed upon filled her heart with gratitude for having crossed paths with such incredible ancestors. With determination sparkling in her eyes, like sunlight dancing off golden surfaces all around her, Grandma Edna closed the chest gently while promising herself that this journey wasn't merely about uncovering relics from days gone by. It was about reviving connections, waiting patiently beneath layers of dust. The excitement coursing through every fiber of Grandma Edna's being propelled her forward into an adventure filled with endless possibilities awaiting discovery. The stories yearning for breath once again echoed warmly around familiar corners, now illuminated by hope. Her heart raced at thoughts swirling around what lay ahead. How many more treasures awaited exploration? What powerful legacy did this chest represent? And how could she ensure those voices never faded away into silence. This quest for knowledge promised wonders yet unseen. It would reveal not just family ties, but also create bonds anew amongst hearts eager for connection. With an invigorated spirit, Grandma Edna set out on her quest for knowledge. After the thrilling discovery of the ornate chest filled with family treasures, she felt a sense of purpose that propelled her forward. The items she had uncovered were not just remnants of the past. They were keys to understanding her family's story and heritage. Determined to learn more, Edna made plans to research each piece in detail. Her first stop was the local library, a familiar place filled with the comforting scent of old books and polished wood. As she stepped through the doors, memories of afternoons spent reading and discovering new worlds flooded her mind. Today, however, she was on a mission. She approached the librarian, Mrs. Thompson, an enthusiastic woman with twinkling eyes who had seen generations of families come and go. "Hello, Mrs. Thompson. I need your help," Edna said, her excitement bubbling over. "I found some letters and maps that belong to my ancestors, and I want to learn more about them." Mrs. Thompson's face lit up with delight as she led Edna to a cozy corner filled with genealogy resources. There were thick books stacked high on shelves, filled with records and histories of families in their area. Edna felt a thrill as she flipped through the pages, searching for names that might connect her to the past. Hours slipped away as Grandma Edna immersed herself in research, jotting down notes and making connections between names and places mentioned in the letters. The faded ink in those letters began to come alive as she pieced together stories that spanned generations. One letter mentioned a town called Maplewood. Could it be a place where her great-grandparents once lived? She was determined to find out. Next, Edna ventured into the archives section of the library, where historical documents were kept. Dust motes danced in the sunlight, streaming through tall windows, as she carefully examined old census records and property deeds. Each document felt like a puzzle piece that brought her closer to understanding her family's journey. As she delved deeper into the research, she stumbled upon a newspaper article dated back over 100 years that mentioned a festival held in Maplewood to celebrate its founding. Excitement surged through her veins. This was history alive. Perhaps her ancestors had participated in such gatherings, celebrating their lives and community. Feeling inspired, Grandma Edna decided it was time to seek out local historians who might provide even more context for what she had discovered. She reached out to Dr. Jameson, an elderly historian well known for his knowledge of the region's history. After a brief phone call filled with enthusiasm on both ends, they arranged for Edna to visit him at his quaint home adorned with bookshelves overflowing with history. On the day of her visit, she arrived at Dr. Jameson's house, eager and ready to share her findings. He welcomed her warmly and led her into a study that felt like stepping into another era. Antique furniture surrounded them, along with walls lined with maps and photographs from days gone by. As Edna recounted her discoveries from the chest, the letters, maps, and artifacts, Dr. Jameson listened intently, nodding along with keen interest. When she showed him the brass locket containing portraits of unknown relatives, he examined it closely. "Ah, this is quite significant," he said thoughtfully. Such lockets were often used by families during times of separation or war, a way to keep loved ones close even when apart. Edna's heart swelled at this insight. It made perfect sense. Her great-grandmother's longing for family reflected not only in words, but also in cherished keepsakes like this locket. They spent hours discussing various aspects of their shared history. Dr. Jameson provided insights about societal changes during different eras that impacted families like hers while connecting her ancestors' stories to broader historical events. As she left his home that afternoon, Grandma Edna felt invigorated by the conversations they shared and all that she had learned. It was clear now. Every letter unearthed revealed not just personal tales, but also echoed larger themes of love, sacrifice, and resilience woven throughout history. The more she uncovered about her ancestry, the struggles endured during wars or journeys taken toward new beginnings, the stronger her desire grew to honor their legacy by sharing these stories with others who might appreciate their depth. Over the following weeks, Grandma Edna continued visiting libraries and talking to historians whenever possible. Each conversation revealing new threads in a tapestry woven over centuries. She documented everything meticulously. Each note became another chapter in her growing understanding of where she came from. With each discovery came an increasing urgency within her heart to not only gather these stories, but also bring them alive for future generations. Edna envisioned hosting family gatherings where everyone could come together to share memories sparked by these findings. An evening filled with laughter as they recounted tales passed down through time, while reliving moments captured within those beautiful letters. As Grandma Edna's journey unfolded before her eyes, like pages turning in a book full of adventure, it became clear. This research wasn't just about uncovering facts. It was about building bridges across time, connecting loved ones, old and new, all waiting patiently for their stories to be told again. And so began this remarkable chapter. Not merely rooted in dusty shelves or ancient maps, but thriving vibrantly within hearts eager for connection. What awaited next in this exciting exploration? Would there be more treasures waiting just below the surface? With hope lighting every step forward, Edna knew one thing for certain. This journey had only just begun. As Grandma Edna continued her research, each piece of information she uncovered brought her closer to the rich tapestry of her family's history. One afternoon, while sorting through her notes, she made an unexpected connection that sent a thrill through her. She had been studying the old maps again, particularly one that showed various routes taken during a significant period in American history. Edna had already noticed some unfamiliar markings on the map, including inscriptions indicating towns that had once been bustling centers during the Civil War. Intrigued, she pulled out a recent newspaper clipping she had found about local historical reenactments and community festivals commemorating the war's impact on their town. That evening, she spread the maps across her dining table, comparing them with the details mentioned in the letters. A couple of letters from her great-grandmother referenced troop movements and significant events occurring nearby that had affected her family directly. Reading through these letters again, she stumbled upon a description of a large gathering held in Maplewood during the war. A meeting to support local troops heading off to battle. With renewed determination, Edna returned to the library the next morning to dig deeper into this newfound connection. She spent hours reviewing historical records about troop movements and encampments in their area. When she came across a book that documented regiments stationed nearby, her heart raced. A name leapt off the page. One of the units was listed as having camped in Maplewood during a pivotal battle. Fascinated by this revelation, Edna could hardly believe it. She quickly pulled out the brass locket from the chest and examined the portraits inside again. One portrait depicted a man in military attire, which now took on new meaning. Was this man part of the very regiment mentioned in her findings? Could he have been someone who participated in those gatherings or battles? Fueled by curiosity, she sought out experts during her next visit to Dr. Jameson. The historian listened eagerly as Grandma Edna recounted her discoveries. How letters from her great-grandmother detailed local support for troops and how maps connected them to significant events. Dr. Jameson's eyes sparkled with excitement. "This is remarkable," he exclaimed. "Many families have stories from that time, but few can trace their connections to specific events like you have. This could change how we view local history if you choose to share it." Edna felt a rush of pride and responsibility tugging at her heartstrings as they discussed how these revelations could shine a light on lesser-known stories from the Civil War era. Not only were her ancestors involved in a pivotal moment in history, but their actions supported community efforts that went beyond mere survival. They rallied together to protect their loved ones and support each other during tumultuous times. Determined to bring attention to these findings, Grandma Edna began drafting plans for an exhibition at the local community center. She envisioned an event where they could showcase letters, maps, and artifacts that told her family's unique story, while also honoring many others like them who contributed to their community during challenging times. As word spread about her efforts, people from all over town expressed interest in participating, sharing their own family stories and historical pieces related to the Civil War. Before long, Edna found herself enveloped in conversations filled with nostalgia and gratitude, as families gathered together to reminisce about loved ones who had played a part in shaping their town's history. The day of the exhibition arrived with an air of excitement buzzing throughout the center. Newspapers covered it, and local historians joined as speakers, shining light on societal changes throughout generations, all connected back to those very same roots Edna had unearthed just months prior. As she stood before a crowd gathered around displays featuring letters written by her great-grandmother alongside maps exhibiting troop movements, Grandma Edna felt an overwhelming sense of fulfillment. This was not merely about sharing artifacts. It was about weaving connections threading through time. A chance for people to reflect on their pasts while celebrating their shared heritage. "History isn't just what happened," she said passionately during her speech to an attentive audience. "It's about understanding what our ancestors endured and how their choices shaped who we are today. We are all part of this beautiful tapestry." The crowd erupted into warm applause as Edna smiled with tears glistening in her eyes, finally feeling that every effort spent uncovering these treasures was worth it not only for herself, but for so many others seeking connection through shared experiences and histories. As conversations flourished around her amid laughter and heartfelt stories being exchanged among families throughout the exhibition space, Grandma Edna realized how powerful these connections could be. Embracing moments lost, yet revived through memories celebrated together while reaching forward into future generations with hope. It was clear now. Her findings would indeed change perspectives on history. Not just for herself, but for everyone who walked alongside her down memory lane. Each artifact now served as an enduring reminder of resilience, woven intricately beneath layers of time, waiting patiently for breath once more. With the excitement of the upcoming exhibition buzzing in her mind, Grandma Edna set her sights on creating an event that would bring families together and showcase not just her discoveries, but the rich tapestry of shared history within their community. She envisioned a gathering filled with stories, laughter, and heartfelt reminiscences, all inspired by the treasures she had unearthed from the chest in her cellar. First, she reached out to her family to share the news of her discovery and invite them to be part of this special occasion. Edna gathered everyone one sunny afternoon at her home. When they arrived, she could see curiosity shining in their eyes, knowing they would soon learn more about their roots. "Everyone, I'm so excited to tell you what I've found," she began, her voice filled with joy and anticipation. With hands trembling slightly, she revealed the brass locket and the beautifully scripted letters, each one filled with voices of ancestors echoing through time. As Edna shared stories about how these artifacts connected their lives to historical events, she saw smiles forming on faces, tears glistening in some eyes, and proud nods as family members realized the significance of her findings. Her older sister Mary spoke up first, reminiscing about their parents sharing stories of their own family history during family gatherings. "I always loved those tales. I wish we could have learned even more," she said. It was clear that Grandma Edna's findings resonated deeply within them, reigniting a desire for connection and understanding their heritage. Eager to extend this connection beyond family ties, Edna began planning for the community event at the local community center. She envisioned an exhibition that would not only display the items she had uncovered, but also invite families to share their own stories and artifacts related to local history. With determination fueling her efforts, she spoke with Mrs. Thompson at the library, who agreed to help organize logistics and reach out to local historians who could contribute. Over the next few weeks, Grandma Edna busied herself with preparations. She gathered her letters, maps, and artifacts into display cases, arranging them thoughtfully to tell a narrative that would engage attendees and foster a sense of belonging. Edna even created informational placards to accompany each exhibit, providing context about the significance of the items showcased. As the event date approached, word spread across town like wildfire. Flyers were posted at coffee shops, schools, and community boards. The excitement was palpable as neighbors began discussing all they wanted to contribute to this celebration. Old photographs, letters from relatives who fought in the war, and even cherished keepsakes passed down through generations. On the day of the exhibition, a warm glow filled the community center as families gathered inside, greeted by vibrant displays that breathed life into history. Grandma Edna stood near an entrance adorned with flowers and balloons, welcoming guests with open arms. She wore a bright smile as her heart swelled with pride at what was unfolding before her. As families entered, they moved from display to display, pausing to read stories and engage in conversations sparked by memories revived within them. Children listened wide-eyed as their grandparents recounted tales from childhood or referenced ancestors they had never met, but felt somehow connected to now. The center buzzed with life as laughter mingled with tender recollections floated through the air. Some families even brought their own mementos to share, each item carrying deep significance that added richness to those first-hand accounts. As the afternoon unfolded into moments cherished forever etched in time, Grandma Edna took to the stage set up for short presentations. With her heart racing but excitement soaring alongside it, she thanked everyone for attending and for contributing their stories. "Today isn't just about my discoveries, it's about all of our connections," Edna declared warmly. "Every letter, every photograph recounted here today is a reminder that our past is intertwined. It shapes who we are as families and as a community." Applause erupted from the audience as people nodded along in agreement. They felt united in purpose, the spirit of shared journeys beginning anew. Recognizing how powerful these connections could be propelled Edna forward into moments brighter than she had ever anticipated. As attendees continued sharing stories and exchanging hugs among laughter ringing through the halls, Grandma Edna felt a sense of fulfillment flooding over her. This was exactly what she hoped for. A generational bridge igniting passions deep within hearts eager for connection. By bringing together these treasures, both hers and those from others, Edna forged not only links to history, but also pathways leading toward future generations, constantly learning about those who came before them. As sunlight dipped low outside, casting an amber glow on joyous faces all around, every soul present appreciated how these meaningful exchanges light up lives. Her journey hadn't merely been about uncovering relics forgotten among dust. It was about breathing life into echoes within memories held dearly across time, nurturing newfound connections woven together through shared experiences that meant so much more than mere words themselves. And so began this remarkable chapter. Not just for Grandma Edna alone, but for an entire community enlightened by voices of resilience, waiting patiently, yet once again coming forth into the world where they truly belonged. As the community exhibition unfolded, excitement filled the air, weaving through laughter and chatter like a warm embrace. Families huddled around the displays, their faces illuminated with pride and joy as they reminisced about their shared heritage. Grandma Edna stood at the entryway, her heart swelling with emotion as she watched both familiar and new faces engage with the stories and artifacts laid out before them. One corner of the room featured a large display dedicated to photographs and letters that not only belonged to Edna's family, but also highlighted contributions from neighbors. Two of her cousins, Joseph and Clara, had brought treasured keepsakes, old postcards from their grandparents who once ran a bakery during the war years. I remember my grandmother talking about how they would bake bread for soldiers heading off to fight, Joseph said while carefully placing his favorite postcard on the table. She always spoke about sharing what little they had to support the cause. It makes me proud to see our family history celebrated like this. Clara chimed in with enthusiasm, recounting tales of how their grandmother would tell them stories while they were kneading dough together, emphasizing community spirit during those challenging times. Edna watched as the two siblings mirrored expressions of awe and reverence, recognizing that their family's past was more than just stories. It was a legacy of resilience. Nearby, Edna's sister Mary sat with a few younger relatives, introducing them to the artifacts displayed on a nearby table. Built out of cherished memory and nostalgia, it felt like passing down treasures from one generation to the next. "These are letters written long before any of us were born," Mary explained, her voice filled with warmth as she pointed to the beautifully scripted words that tied their family together. "They show us how much our ancestors cared for one another." The children listened intently, their eyes wide as Mary shared how each letter conveyed universal feelings, love, loss, hope, that connected them despite decades apart. Edna noticed her niece Emily's expression change from curiosity to deep contemplation as she held up a faded letter addressed to Mary's grandmother. "Did Grandma really have to face such hard choices?" Emily asked softly, her young voice almost trembling at the weight of her realization. "Absolutely," Edna replied gently while kneeling beside her. "But she faced those challenges with strength and kept our family alive through love. Remember, we're all woven into this beautiful tapestry." Across the room, conversations flourished around other displays as attendees excitedly exchanged personal reflections on similarities within their own heritage. They marveled over shared experiences as they pored over vintage photographs that captured cherished moments frozen in time. Connections blossomed amongst families that may have never realized they had so much in common. As Grandma Edna moved through the crowd, she couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sense of fulfillment as attendees engaged passionately in heartfelt conversations sparked by the treasures displayed. Each story shared built bridges between generations. Some families were unknowingly linked through history. At one moment, Edna overheard an elderly man admire a particularly striking map pinned behind glass. The detailed pathways that echoed memories etched in dusty books hidden away for years suddenly came alive. "I've walked along these roads hundreds of times," he said with a nostalgic smile. "It's wonderful to see these roots honored." His comments prompted others nearby to share memories of their childhood adventures. A tapestry woven together by countless footsteps taken down those same paths through thick woods or across sprawling fields under warm sunsets. As she reflected on every interaction unfolding before her, Edna felt astounded by how her simple act of cleaning out a dusty cellar had inspired newfound enthusiasm throughout entire generations. It resonated deeply. People longed for connection and meaning from those who came before them, embarking upon journeys involving love beyond mere family trees. By gathering so many unique perspectives together, the mutual desire for belonging connected each soul present into something more significant than themselves. The heartwarming sensation became even greater than she had hoped. No longer just echoes remaining dormant within aged letters or pictures faded over time. Now tales thrived amidst laughter, rising like music carried on gentle breezes outside. Later in the afternoon, when it came time for Grandma Edna to speak again, anticipation surged among friends and family gathered close yet again, filling every inch of space where love intertwined effortlessly across hearts. Taking center stage amid poignant emotions swirling around them filled each moment vibrantly alive, all senses engaged within this remarkable chapter unfolding. "Thank you all for sharing today," Grandma Edna declared excitedly while surveying familiar faces around her. What our ancestors endured shapes who we are today. Each story told here is part of our fabric, woven brilliantly through struggles faced hand in hand, and I can't wait to hear more. Let us carry these connections forward into future generations. The audience erupted in applause, a heartfelt acknowledgement punctuating significance nestled within this collective experience. Laughter merged seamlessly alongside joyful tears trickling down cheeks, as spirits lifted high, reflecting resilience across many lives, woven together warmly through history, exchanged beneath sunny skies outside. Evening light began dispersing slowly, while fading shadows cast softer vibes, shimmering sweetly upon joyous interactions. Every single participant knew, deep down, these powerful moments would not soon be forgotten. In that very room, filled previously only by whispers, lives once lost, bubbling back alive, each cherished heart intertwined, reminding everyone resilience survived, patiently enduring, waiting graciously, until finally rescued from obscurity. Connecting threads left behind earlier. This remarkable gathering served as beacon encouraging connections, forged anew, strengthening bonds among families needing only courage enough follow echoes through time, revealing truths missed before shining brightly once again. In the Sakispau's weeks following the exhibition, the impact of Grandma Edna's discoveries extended far beyond her initial intentions. The event had sparked a renewed interest in local history that reverberated through the entire community. As families began to share their own stories and artifacts, a vibrant tapestry of connections emerged, weaving together the past and present in unexpected ways. People from all walks of life were inspired to delve into their ancestral roots. The buzz around town grew as individuals began exploring their family histories. Some neighbors who had never met before found out they shared great-grandparents, while others uncovered stories of resilience and bravery that had been veiled in time. Old photographs were dusted off. Letters stitched together with heartfelt narratives were revealed, and community members gathered in living rooms or libraries to sift through records and reminisce about the past. Recognizing the excitement, Grandma Edna decided to establish a monthly gathering called Heritage Nights at the community center. It was a simple idea, an informal space for anyone interested in learning about genealogy, sharing discoveries, and connecting with others. Each month featured a different theme, from war stories to immigrant journeys, encouraging participants to bring stories alive through personal accounts related to those themes. During one of the first Heritage Nights, an elderly gentleman named Mr. Thompson shared a heartwarming tale about his grandparents' journey from Europe to America. He recounted how they arrived with nothing but determination and dreams, facing adversity yet maintaining hope for a brighter future. His story inspired others to unearth their own experiences, a reminder that every family had trials and triumphs worthy of remembrance. As time went on, these gatherings became a lifeline for many participants. Individuals who once felt alone in their quests for understanding began forming bonds with others who were equally passionate about exploring their ancestry. They organized trips to local historical sites where they could walk the same paths their ancestors had taken. The atmosphere at these gatherings was electric. Laughter danced alongside tears as memories mingled seamlessly across generations. Edna's enthusiasm spread like wildfire, prompting her to reach out to local schools as well. She proposed lessons centered around local history and genealogy for students, believing young minds would benefit from understanding where they came from. Many educators embraced the idea, and soon students were engaging in projects to trace their family trees or interviewing relatives about past experiences. As students presented their findings in class, it sparked conversations that echoed throughout families' dinner tables. Children brought home stories of bravery and resilience that surprised their parents, sparking deeper discussions about heritage and identity across multiple generations. Parents found themselves moved by their children's enthusiasm, leading them to reconsider what they knew about their own backgrounds. Meanwhile, Edna took an active role in collecting oral histories from townsfolk who had lived through significant historical moments. She organized sessions, encouraging anyone willing to share their stories with a tape recorder humming quietly nearby, preserving first-hand accounts as treasures for future generations. The community began recognizing their collective narrative held incredible significance, not just as family lore, but part of a larger story shaping local history. As participants learned more about one another's histories, they began to see connections beyond just surnames or family trees, but rather how intertwined their lives truly were, through events that shaped their town together. Those who once felt disconnected found comfort within shared experiences, forming lasting friendships along the way. Soon enough, Grandma Edna's little exhibition turned into something much grander, a full-fledged movement emphasizing the importance of heritage in shaping identity. Town meetings featured discussions focused on preserving historical sites and encouraging families to contribute artifacts to a community archive. Local historians noted how this newfound interest was rekindling pride within citizens, bringing attention back to historical accomplishments often overshadowed in textbooks or schools across regions near and far. It kindled sparks, giving life long lost among faded pages, preserved now, awakened again, inviting exploration. The ripples from Edna's discovery went beyond creating connections. They enriched local history with voices returned echoing through time, connecting communities right back into place. Events once seen only as chapters reduced to stories retold received new life, entirely merging imaginations, embracing legacies living intertwined across realms, threaded artfully together through tales shared, transforming simple artifacts, holding deep memories into enduring legacies. As Grandma Edna looked around at smiling faces, attending heritage nights packed with eager participants, championing explorations, she couldn't help but feel proud, reflecting on how her initial act of cleaning out a dusty cellar had blossomed into an entire movement honoring local heritage. With each story shared, the warmth palpable illuminated quiet corners where shadows loomed, reclaimed spaces echoing purpose, providing meeting grounds, nourishing hearts again, reminding all attending those who treaded before, dedicated themselves, carving paths, dispelling truths no longer hidden. Reveling legacies revived, instilled courage among budding historians everywhere. Returning strength, allowing narratives birthed effortlessly. Left indelible marks, shining bright, illuminating reality's bonds, endure timeless summons. longing grasping future generations, welcoming forever more stories stretching endlessly onward. Rooted fondly within cherished memories, awaiting discovery patiently until shared reconciling newer, countless connections, yet unfound combining revisited lands, welcoming understanding born anew. As the sun began to set on another beautiful day, Grandma Edna stood outside the community center, watching families and friends gradually disperse after an exhilarating heritage night. The air was filled with laughter and lingering conversations, and Edna felt a profound sense of fulfillment wash over her as she reflected on how far they had come since that fateful day when she first opened the chest in her cellar. The simple act of cleaning out her dusty old cellar had transformed not only her life, but also the lives of countless others in her community. She remembered the initial thrill of discovery, the yellowed letters, the maps that charted stories of bravery and resilience, and the artifacts that linked generations together. Each piece had its own significance, but it was their collective power to inspire connection and reflection that truly changed everything. Edna smiled as she recalled how many people had stepped forward to share their own family histories during the exhibition. The stories told that day were not just individual accounts. They formed a rich tapestry woven through time, a narrative that encompassed friendships, struggles, and triumphs shared among community members. This newfound appreciation for local history sparked curiosity in so many hearts, prompting families to delve into their pasts and uncover forgotten tales. As she walked through the community center one last time before closing up for the night, Edna saw remnants of excitement still hanging in the air, children's drawings on tables depicting ancestors dressed in historical attire, photographs carefully pinned to boards with colorful yarn connecting them like a web of life. She admired how these visual representations captured personal journeys while intertwining them with broader themes found throughout history. Feeling a wave of nostalgia wash over her, Edna thought back to her great-grandmother's letters revealing intimate glimpses into life during challenging times. It struck her how those written words once seemed so distant, yet had now bridged gaps between generations within families eager for connection. What started as mere relics from a bygone era had morphed into living documents filled with lessons learned, strengthening identities forged amidst adversity, and instilling hope for future generations poised to carry their stories forward. Each Heritage Night became a cherished event, where she saw firsthand how relationships blossomed anew among participants who might have otherwise remained strangers. They shared laughter alongside tears as they exchanged memories sparked by artifacts displayed proudly across tables. It was incredible to witness such transformative moments unfolding right before her eyes. Reminders that history isn't stagnant. Rather, it breathes along with every heartbeat, echoing within those nurturing connections. Delighted by this realization, fueled by joy surging through her heart, Grandma Edna knew she had ignited something special within this community. A legacy woven from threads carefully gathered together over time, meant to endure far beyond her lifetime. No longer just echoes lost among dust-covered corners. Each story unearthed contributed richly toward understanding shared experiences, while preserving cultural heritage waiting patiently for recognition. As days turned into weeks, following each gathering filled with laughter, mingling effortlessly alongside shared wisdom transmitted across generations, Edna felt resolute knowing she played an essential role guiding others seeking answers about their roots. Looking ahead towards organizing more events, focused around different themes, tied closely back toward local narratives, only deepened her commitment further yet. She envisioned sessions exploring specific eras or significant events, where attendees could engage deeply, discussing how those moments shaped lives today. With renewed determination, fueling every thought spent dreaming vividly about possibilities yet untouched. The legacies built would ultimately serve as powerful reminders, emphasizing importance, remembering roots planted firmly beneath feet, traversing pathways, illuminating future endeavors, brightly guiding ever closer toward enriching discoveries, still waiting exploration. Grandma Edna closed her eyes momentarily, imagining all those who came before, who sacrificed so much paving ways, stood patiently watching. Blessed, honored knowing today's actions would ripple forth endlessly, blessing countless lives, firing aspirations, long haunting horizons, inviting joys unveiled, revealing meaning nestled quietly behind once quiet walls, now resounding vibrantly alive, gaining strength from every heartbeat, carrying echoes meant thrive forevermore. Finally stepping away from the vibrant atmosphere surrounding heritage nights, gently fading behind diminished laughter, mingled softly under starlit skies. Edna embraced fulfillment, knowing what began. Simply cleaning out an old cellar would resonate through time-shaping histories kept alive, evolving beyond herself. A lasting legacy emerged. One crafted lovingly, intertwined together, reflecting passions restored, encouraging connections, made anew, forever enriched. Reminding everyone involved they were partaking in something much grander than themselves. A living testament honoring ancestors who paved paths leading into tomorrow, illuminated bright ahead, awaiting discovery.